everybody, it's me, Margaret, on a cold winter morning.
Yeah, it's an ice storm. Not too bad. Roads are alright. Look at that poor wax myrtle. It's supposed to be standing much taller than that. It's melting now. School started at 10 this morning. But, yeah, ice is pretty as long as it doesn't cause major commotion.
Then we start to move into the Tennessee Valley, so North Mississippi, North Alabama. Probably going to get a couple inches of snow out of the system on Wednesday. By the time we get to Wednesday night, we get into...
Here's Smitty. He's sitting on the back of the couch like he loves to do. And he is recovering from a horrible sinus infection that is somehow related to the heart. The respiratory stuff does get out of hand. And if I lifted his chin up, you'd see pink antibiotic all over him, but that's what's doing the trick. So that's good news for Smith. He's feeling better.
Okay, I've got a lot to show, so we might as well get started. First of all was this hat from last week. I had not finished it, but it turned out really well. Slip stitch hat. I'll put a link in the description box below so you can see the guideline that I used. I cast on 72 of worsted weight and pretty much followed what they said, but of course I added my own colors and everything, but I followed their decreases and it worked really well. So I'm very pleased with this knitted hat. Yay, go me! And I've really been into scraps this week. Now, this brown was one of those big giant I don't know what it was actually, Super Saver or one of the inexpensive acrylics. And so I have a lot of it and I'm still working it down, but I did open brand new skeins of Vanna's Choice in these colors here. But in keeping, we'll get back to those colors here, but I still had a whole lot of that brown left, so I did another one of these ridged beanies by Melodora's Creations from this brown, and I really love that hat. It's very comfortable and easy and different basic beanie. It's pretty much a double crochet basic beanie. You just happen to do back post, I think it is, or front post, I don't remember. Double crochet on one of every other row right through here, and that's what makes this really cool ridge. So I made another one of those, easy and quick. Then, while we're still in the brown family, I again had used more of this dark brown, and this is the camel stitch hat, similar, well, pretty much the same hat that I showed you before last week, but this time I only used shades of brown. And I thought about alternating, which probably would have looked better or more traditional, the lighter brown and the darker brown here, or tans I guess I should say. And I said no, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to see what would happen if it came out like this. And I like it. I like it. It's just you know, darker tone on top, lighter tone on bottom. So that came out very well. And I think that's all the brown I have to show you. Yes. So after all that dark brown, I got to feeling like I needed something bright in my life. And this looked really girly to me. This is a yarn, and I can't for the life of me tell you what it is now, but Rebs 64, Rebecca, I won from her a little giveaway, and this was included in that, and this was the last little bit that I have of it. It's actually a very thin yarn. I used 2 strands together to match the worsted weight white, but didn't that come out cute? And this is just that same pattern that I talk about all the time, Better Late Than Never beanie, which is pretty much double crochet, single crochet, alternating all the way down. And then that pattern did not have this front post, back post ribbing. I add that myself, but it's her idea here. So I love that, and it's something that I could do without having to think. I've got these patterns memorized, you know, and it's just so simple to whip them out in a hurry without thinking. So, and again, I'm still kind of stuck in that I need to do something mindless phase. So I loved being girly, so I whipped out this. Now, this is just a double crochet hat with the front post, back post ribbing, but with only scraps. And this is really getting to be fun for me. It's quite the challenge to see how I'm going to put together what I have left, you know, how it's going to fit. But you can kind of see I started with purple up there, and as I began to run out of colors, I added two single crochet stripes, because that's all the yarn that I had left that would do for those two colors right there. And I loved it. I thought it was just a little bit different, and I don't know. It's just, I get so surprised when I make a scrap hat and it comes out in a way that I really like. So it's just fun. It's fun to experiment and to challenge yourself and see what you can come up with. But I'm very pleased with this little hat. And still on my girly phase, I ran across this on Pinterest. It was a big bulky hat like this. Half double crochets, I think it is. I have the pattern, I'll put a link before. But I added a little flower to it. Now, this is 2 rows or so, 2 rows of petals of my favorite flower pattern. And I believe that it needs some filler in the front. So I first grabbed this one, a little button to put there like that. And I thought, that's adorable, but a little mature, I think, for a little girl's hat. So then, Cora Olander had sent me a whole batch of fun buttons, and so I started looking, and I found this lavender button that has a little flower indentation on it, which was really cute. So I thought that might work on there. Oh, I was holding it upside down. You can see the little flower on it. That would be cute. And then I thought, I like this one. This came from Cora's collection too. And it's just it looks like a flower garden on there. The colors are not exactly the colors that are in my flower, but they're close enough, and it's so fun. And I think for a little girl's hat, busier might be better. So I am leaning towards that for this hat. Isn't that cute? But I think I may make a bigger version of this and put this kind of button in there, because I thought that looked really pretty for a more mature person. So that is that. Fun, fun, fun. Then I had such a good time crocheting big and bulky like that I did another one, but this time in black and again with scraps. Now, my intention was to put a flower on this, but I did not have scraps suitable. I had an orange sparkly one, and I thought that would look way too Halloween-y, and nothing was yelling at me at the time, so I put it aside. And I said I'll come back to that, which I will, because, well, I'll show you that in a minute. But while I had the black out, well, let me tell you what I did first. All right, so I looked to see what I had left in the scrap department, and it was really not enough to do a whole heck of a lot with. So I made a really busy palm. I just took all kinds of colors that I had left, made a big palm out of it. Then I ran up to the Addy, and I made a basic double layer beanie and put the busy palm on it. And I thought that came out great. So when I tell you I'm using my scraps, I'm using every scrap I have left. I don't think I've thrown away much at all. So that's fun. I just thought that was great. Okay, so I still don't have a flower for this. I'll have to figure that out in a minute. But I was still on the great big chunky hat bandwagon. Now, this made me think of something I had seen on Pinterest ages ago. And I used scraps to make a hat out of this it was about a year ago, I think, and I didn't like it. No, didn't like it at all. But something told me to go ahead and try it again, and I did. But let's see. Here it is. Now, it's coming out more yellow in this. Let me change a setting. Hang on. All right, this may be a little closer. It's hard to tell. But you can see, look specifically at the blues. Do you see how I started out with a lighter type of dusty blue at the top? And then it morphs down into a royal. See, this is still a lighter, but it's darker than this. And then it morphs down into a really dark blue down at the bottom. And the same thing with the reds. And even the yellows. I actually started out with a brighter yellow up here, and it morphed down into a paler yellow down at the bottom. And the concept with these scrap hats is that you start out with whatever you have, and when the one color begins to run out, you just add on to that color. Now in this case, I had pretty specific groups of colors. For example, I had several yellows. I had several blues. I had several reds. There's even some tans in here that are 2 different colors. And so those were logical choices to just add on to that color, even though it was a different shade. But I do like the way it came out, and I put on Instagram that it looks like a yarn circus because the colors do kind of look like that. Now, like I said, people are probably either going to love this or hate this. I hated it last year, and I love it this year. So, who knows? But I had such a good time with it that I got some more out. And this one came out great. Now, look at this. It starts with sort of a teal at the top and then morphs down into the blues at the bottom. Now, when I'm looking in my viewfinder, I don't like this nearly as much as I do in person, but I don't know. So I would suggest that you do one, if you're interested in this, and do one with your own colors and see if you like it up close. But I got going crazy with these. They're fun to make. I used 4 strands together with a P hook. I think it was a P, and I can't tell you. Hang on. I'm sorry, I have to get up and go find out. It'll drive me crazy. And I get frustrated sometimes when I watch other people's videos and they say, oh yeah, I don't know what I used. Well, I want to know. So I figure you might want to know too. I did use a P hook, which is a 12 millimeter. These were some very inexpensive crochet hooks that I got, gosh, several years ago off of eBay, I think. And it came in a whole range of sizes. I don't use any of the smaller ones because I have my metal hooks for those, which I prefer. But I do like these for the bigger ones. However, it's this one. My N hook, which is a 10 millimeter, has a little rough spot right here at the neck. And so what I probably need to do is sand it with some fine sandpaper and put some little, maybe a little coating or something on it. But for the most part, I have been really pleased with the quality. And they were cheap. I don't know, they came from China. But anyway, back to these hats. It was 4 strands of worsted weight yarn, and I used a P hook, though I think that would depend upon your gauge and your tension and all that kind of stuff, which hook you would prefer with using those. So anyway, I went crazy and I kept going. This is a purpley color. I think it's grape, red heart grape with black. Excuse me. And on this one, down at the bottom, I did back loop only. And that put the little edging down there on the bottom. Wait a second, let me clarify. This little hat that started me on all this bulkiness, this actually has a pattern, and I'm going to put the link to the pattern there. I have seen patterns for these on Pinterest, and I'll see if I can find one for you to put in there. this one's done with half double crochet, if I remember correctly, and this one is done with single crochet all the way through. So here I did a back loop only border thing on this one too. Okay, but I didn't stop there. Oh no, I kept going. I love this. Now, with this, I opened 3 new skeins, and the pink was a Karen Simply Soft that I had already opened. But this is what was interesting. I have to go get something else. Wait. How you people can just sit down and start talking when you do your videos is beyond me. Talk, and poof, you upload. And I've never been able to do that because I can't get my act together. All right, here's the deal. For this hat, I used this Red Heart Turquoise, Turqua, and that is not turquoise. Private joke from another video you may remember. It is this Super Saver Orchid. It is soft pink in Karen Simply Soft. And then it is the Calliope, the Red Heart Calliope. Now, these were the colors right here that gave you this. So you can see the yellow, the green, whatever you see there is actually coming in from the Calliope. And I just loved the way this came out. So then I had such a good time with it that I made a second hat out of, well, all the same yarn, except for instead of using the turquoise, I replaced it with this Impeccable, which is the Michaels brand, and the color is Fern. So I used the exact same colors that I used before, and the only thing I changed was green and turquoise. And look how different it came out. Isn't that fun? So I've had a great time with these. Now the best part about them is they're really, really warm. It took me a while to get my speed going because it's kind of awkward dipping in there and going after all 4 strands, and you're working really big, so the movements are bigger. But after I got going, it did work up very quickly. So I'm very, very fond of these hats. As a matter of fact, I think I'm keeping one of them for myself. And if you've noticed the fashion trend lately, last year we wore the great big bulky cowls with the really thick yarn and bulk. This year everybody is getting away from that, and they're wearing really a lot of thinner and lighter scarves around our necks. But the hats are getting bulkier, so it was like, whoa, I'm fashion, and I didn't even know it. So that was great. I want to throw in something else about these hats. I have said before on numerous occasions that I really don't like to crochet with the short color change yarn because I think it looks kind of cluttery. Is that the word? The color tends to pull in chunks more so than it does when you knit it. And for some reason, I prefer the knitted look than I do the chunk look. But that being said, I'm going to throw this into this crochet hat. I loved the short color change yarn in here because all the different colors would pop up in different places, and it added so much to the hat. So I am going to do more of these, and I am going to look through my short color change yarn to see what kind of combos I can put together there, because I have really, really enjoyed the outcome of these hats. And they have such a great feel to them, of course, and the added warmth. Okay, so how am I doing in my scrap usage? Remember, my goal was 5,000 grams before I could buy any more yarn. And I have forgotten. It's 3,000 something. Well, I'll put the number right here. But I am surprising myself because I'm going through a lot more yarn than I thought I would. So I am now going to up this goal to 10,000 grams because I'm having a really good time shopping in my own stash, being fearless and just grabbing out those colors and going for it. And whereas before, I think the reason why I had so much yarn is because I was afraid of making a mistake and, oh, well, I don't want to use that because maybe I need to have this to go with it. Nah, no. I have been in there thinking of the whole process as a challenge, and it's been really fun. It's been like a game. And of course, I have been in that mindset of quick, easy. I did not pick up my butterfly stitch shawl because I just am still in that don't want to concentrate mode. So that's one reason why I'm breezing through it quickly, I think. But it's been fun. And after all, if your yarn work is not fun, then why are you doing it, right? Okay. Oh, and added in that number were 2 skeins, and I may be doing another skein I'm giving to my niece. She has Down syndrome, and she requested a crochet kit. Oh, you know what? I filmed when that thing came in. Here, I'll insert what that kit is here. We have a niece with Down syndrome. She is 33, and she's about to have a birthday. And she sent Tucker an email requesting a crochet kit. So that's what I bought her. Now, I couldn't find one anywhere around here. This came from Amazon, and it's really, it appears to be a really good starter kit for anybody who's interested. You get the long one, which I guess could be a Tunisian crochet hook, which I guess is because Tunisian. Your basic hooks, 2 needles, a gauge, and then a book that has 16 projects in it. And it says it's got basics for left and right hand, so that would be good. She's right-handed. But there's the projects that it comes with. So, she does read. She's on about a 4th grade level, which is very good. But I think that I'll probably still need to sit down with her, me, or her mama, and help her out, getting started. I'm not sure if we'll actually see any of these projects. We'll probably see a really long scarf. But anyway, this is what she wanted, so this is what she got. Okay, so I picked her out 2 skeins. Purple is her favorite color. And I think I gave her a calliope like this and a purple of some sort. And I think I want to give her a bulky because that kit contains different size hooks. And that would help to explain bulky yarns use bigger hooks. So this is why you have so many and yada, yada, yada. So I'll probably throw an extra in there, in which case my yarn consumption for this week will go up. Now, works in progress. Dun da da! The easy scarf. I have made a mess. I have completed the first half of the easy scarf. See, you're supposed to use 50 grams on the first half, and I have used all but this teeny tiny little bit. Won't make a whole row, so I'm finished with that color. And now I'm going to add that silver gray color. But the problem is, I don't understand the instructions. So Diane, you're either going to have to help me. Diane is Farm Wife 99 who gifted me the pattern. Or I know Erin knows how to do it because she started it after I did, and she has breezed through it and absolutely completed it. But if truth be told, I love for Erin to finish things ahead of me because then I know she's figured it all out and she can hold my hand through it. I also gifted her a pattern. Actually, I bought it for the both of us. And it's double knitting, which she had never done. Well, you know, I didn't know how to do it. So I've waited and she started it. So, you know, I have to keep her 3 steps ahead of me so that I can have all my questions answered. Sorry, Erin. Okay. That's that work in progress. So I'll be starting the second color on that soon, once I figure that out. Now, I'm going to insert a picture here where I had done a headband for a friend of mine at Bible study. She said her daughter kept stealing her headband, and so I made that one, and I said, well, maybe your daughter will like this one better so you can have yours back. But she ended up wearing it. So that worked out. So I had such a good time with that I have made, or am in the process of making, 3 more. Now you'll remember I said that I used brown scraps, but I opened brand new skeins of this to get these stripes. This is Vanna's Choice, and of course I forgot to look the colors up, but if y'all will forgive me, I've already run up the stairs twice. I don't want to do it again. But I made, while those skeins were out, I said, you know what, I'm going to sit here and make some flowers, and then I will go upstairs and make the headband part on my Addie. And that's exactly what this is, which is basically 90, it's on my small Addie, the 22 needle one. It's basically 90 rows. And then I gather both ends together, tie them shut, and put the flower over the tie, and you end up with the headband. But I'll do a little how-to on that, because I know a lot of people who have gotten Addies recently are not really knitters, and so they would really like to have someone walk them through the process. So I'll do that, because this is a quick and easy and satisfying project that anybody could do if you can crochet a flower. That would be the trickiest part, but even if you can't, you could make a plain headband. So that's really cool. Now, usually there would be an acquisitions portion, but I have bought absolutely nothing related to yarn this week. So there's nothing to talk about there. So I'll move into a goals report. And I'm happy to say that I'm using my scraps and my open skeins, and I'm even moving into my existing stash and knocking that down, which has been high on my list of priorities. So pat myself on the back for that. And color work, I have not done, well, I did, you can't color, no, that's not color work. I have color work plans, but I did not do them this week. So I will work on that. I've been using my Tiny Needles Tiny Yarn, and that was really crazy too, to go from this big giant P hook with 4 strands of worsted to switch over to this. That was kind of fun, but it was really no problem at all, because 2 completely different crafts. It didn't confuse me in the least. So that was good. And but anyway, I'm pleased enough with what I have for my yarn goals. My organizational goals, I did manage to take a car full of donations this week. I am famous for decluttering and organizing and then letting my giveaways sit for far too long. So it was a really nice feeling to go ahead and get that out of the house. So that felt great. So I'm still in the process of decluttering and cleaning and going through each room of the house. And I'm also actually having it leave the house, which is good, because what good is a donation if you don't actually donate it, right? If it's just going to sit in your garage. So, healthy goals could be better. Yes, could be better. My motivation is waning, and I think it has a lot to do with the weather. If you don't know, half no, I'd have to say it was more than that. More than half of the battle of weight loss and healthiness and fitness is up here. It has to be motivational. A lot of people don't have the information, which still kind of surprises me. But most of us know what to do. We just lack the motivation to do it. And while I'm the one sitting here holding a lifestyle and weight management certificate, you don't see me having any magic ways to develop the motivation. But as part of learning to earn that certificate, you do realize how much of a mental battle it is. The weather itself tends to bring our mood down a little bit, and we tend to want to nest. We want to get in and stay cozy and warm. We don't want to get up and be wild and physical in these instances. And I think that comes from the basic human nature of preservation, which you want to not burn off your fat to make it through the winter as if we were living in the caveman days or something. So it's something that we literally have to get our mind right and overcome. So that'll come. So if any of you are battling with that, understand that it's normal, but it's no excuse, myself included. Okay, so that's all for now, but I still have to get my I Love Smart People video up, and I want to get my headband video for the Addy up. So if time would just slow down, I could manage all this. So we'll talk to you later. Bye.
I managed to edit this entire video with Calicozy sitting on my mouse hand.